In this section, we will discuss a lot about method level security, which is an extra feature provided by the Spring Security Framework. So as of now, we have applied authorization rules on top of our API paths like /loans, /account. So we applied like who and what authorities they should be able to access those paths. It might be MVC paths or REST API paths, but there might be a requirement in your application that you want to bring these authorization rules to different layers of your application. Like I want to put certain authorization rules like who can execute a method in my service layer or repository layer or any layer that your application has. And at the same time, there is no guarantee that all the time the applications that you are going to build will be web applications. There might be a scenario where you will have non-web applications where you will not have any API paths or MVC paths to configure authorization rules. For all such scenarios, method level security is the answer from Spring Security. So this feature will help us in implementing authorization rules on top of methods inside our application. The very first step that we have to take care in order to enable the method level security is to use the annotation @enable global method security on any of the configuration class which has an annotation @configuration. So method level security provides two approaches in order to apply any authorization rules on top of your methods. One is invocation authorization, like based upon the rules that you configured, the Spring Security Framework will decide whether this method has to be invoked or not. If there are any issues based upon the configurations like a certain user or certain condition is not satisfying, then the method invocation will be stopped and a forbidden error will be sent back to the user. And at the same time, we also have another approach which is filtering authorization. Like I don't want to stop invocation of my method execution, but I want to control my business logic based upon the parameters that my method receive and the parameters that it sends back to the invocation method or API or client. So in such scenarios, if I want to apply some filtering conditions, like for certain parameters, my method execution should not happen or method business logic should not return any values that the user is expecting, for all such scenarios, we'll go for the filtering authorization. So to achieve all this method level security, Spring Security uses AOP module that we have inside Spring Framework. So AOP module is something which it will provide some crosscut or aspects which will act as an interceptors whenever you define inside your application. So whenever we configure method level security inside our method, so Spring Security Framework will leverage this AOP module and have interceptors to intercept our method invocation to decide whether the authorization rules configured is satisfied or not. And all these method level configurations like authorization rules can be configured by using the following three ways. The most famous way is like by using the annotations @pre-authorize and post-authorize. And at the same time, we also have another annotations from Java frameworks like @secured and @roles allowed. But compared to pre-authorize and post-authorize, @secured and @role allowed are less powerful because they have certain limitations compared to pre-authorize and post-authorize. Due to that reason, lot of people and lot of applications, they are using pre-authorize and post-authorize inside their code. But at the same time, we can't go ahead and use them directly inside our application, these annotations. So whenever you're using enable global method security annotation inside your configuration class, you have to enable them by passing these three parameters like pre-post enable is equal to true, secured enable is equal to true, and JSR 250 enabled is equal to true. If any of these three parameters is missing inside your enable global method security, by default that annotation you cannot use and Spring Security Framework will throw an error. So now we have a basic understanding on what this method level security inside Spring Security Framework. Let's try to understand in detail about invocation authorization rules, how we can apply authorization rules during method invocation in the next video. Thank you and bye.